Now we're going to go to the flat sharpening stone, and we won't need dust protection anymore. So these are great. This is a Makita, I think it's the original one. There's a bunch of knockoffs that are pretty good. I think probably this one is longer lived than the knockoffs. They don't last forever, but they do give good service. It's just a little bitty motor with a gearbox. I forget exactly how fast it runs, but I believe it's between 500 and 600 RPM. This is a splash guard that has a cam on it so that you can rotate it. Works okay. It's not great. You have to keep it clean. And it's nice to put paraffin wax in it like I just did, which makes it work better. And then the other thing you can do is just to pick it up and push it down. That also works okay. So you can see I have 3 of these. This has a 1000 grit wheel on it. This wheel is much coarser at 60 grit. And then this white wheel back here is, I think it's 5000 grit. And just a quick word about diamond hones. I've never really liked these that much, but the best use I ever did find for these is flattening these water stones. So here, let me fling the water off. Oh, this thing is here, some hope of keeping most of the water off you. So, I'll get this guy out of the way. This is a 220 grit diamond plate. It's quite flat. But before we start, we should put it on here and see if we can get it to rock. It's rocking a little bit. It's hard to use this part of the stone in the middle. And so they generally get worn to a cone shape that's down on the outside and higher in the middle. So that's what we're going to deal with here. And first we'll try this. We'll get it wet. The stone is wet. It's been soaking for half hour or something like that. And that's the good way to use these stones when they're wet. Here's where I wish this was variable speed, but yeah, it isn't. So you can see that as we thought, it's cutting more in the middle, but you can also see what a beautiful job it's doing of making a nice smooth surface. And you can see that the steel that gets stuck in the wheel out here at the edge is gone from the inside. So we'll keep doing this. You can hear it slowing down. Okay, so we got a nice flat surface. This is really the best way to create that, is with a diamond stone. We'll let this run for a second. Okay, now next job on these irons is to get the back flat. We call that backing off. And maybe this will save us a little bit here. You can see that it's only cutting in the center, and over here where we care about it, it's not cutting at all. See how the other ones are. All right, easy to see where this is cutting. You got a high spot over here. Well, that looks almost done. That's pretty nice, huh? Now we can see that the corner of this has been blown away by the previous owner. That's a lot of material to get through. We may not bother with that, but in order to get it perfect all the way out to the corner, we would have to chase that back, either by grinding back some more, which we don't want to do because it shortens the life of the blade, or by grinding the back more. So we'll see what happens when we take the next cut. Oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed, I'm leaning the blade against this sturdy part of the water bucket over here, which is why the front of the machine is facing this way. This is where you want to have it in order to do this part of the cutting. Okay, well, it's not as bad as I thought over here. Still have to take some off this side. Boy, that's looking pretty nice though, right? Now this is something you only have to do once. Once this is flat, you never need to cut this again. And you can hear I'm pushing hard enough to slow the machine down. That's okay. Probably not good for it to stall it, but I think it's okay to load it up. Also, you may be noticing that I'm starting out like this and then slapping the blade down flat. I certainly don't want to do this. That would be a terrible blunder and would set us back quite a bit to round off the back of this, which after all, ideally is perfectly a flat surface. All right, we're getting there. You have some kind of corrosion or other deformation here. I think you can see it on this edge. So this corner that I was worried about has turned out fine, and this is the problem over here now. We'll chase this a little better. All right, we're getting there. One way to do it is to just forget about it and let it be that way. And say, hey, it's an old iron that we've rescued. This is that old Stanley Sweetheart iron. The other thing is to chase it. We'll split the difference. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we'll take one more cut. All right, it's pretty good. So we'll call that one backed off. Here's our last victim, the Craftsman iron. Also looking pretty good. You can see these lines that are going in the long direction are original manufacturing lines from the whatever kind of grinding or sanding machine the company was making. Of course, Craftsman used to be Sears, and Sears never made anything. They just contracted it to somebody else to make. And when you contract like that, probably your lowest bid comes from somebody who's really good at making stuff like this, like maybe Stanley. You never know. All right, so again, we've got a corroded kind of mess over here on this side. Try and take some of that out. Got a ways to go. So there's a trick here where we can do this. And you can see I've cut a little bit of material out here. Made a little hollow. I've stayed away from the edge by, I don't know, 3 millimeters or so. And so I've moved over here, so I've made these 2 little marks to try and remove some material in the center. And then right down the middle. You see that? Okay. All right, I'm going to go back for the full slap down, see what I get. All right, still see my cutting. Okay, that was a pretty big cut, and I did stall it out. And you can see we're darn close, and maybe this has helped us a little bit. Really isn't much, but you can see what happened. Japanese tool makers do this on purpose for their expensive tools. They all have hollows in the back. Alright. The hollow has gotten smaller, looks nice and flat. Got this little crummy place over here in the corner. Something about that corner. A couple more cuts. Okay. Well, you can see that my little hollow has gotten almost nothing. And likewise, the defect in the corner is getting pretty small. I'm going to go back in. All right, I think we're going to leave that. Again, this is rehab. When you buy a new tool, it already comes looking like this and it's perfect and you don't have to do any of this. But I would submit that in our world of sharpening, there isn't anything like this, and there's nothing that works as well as this. Some of you are probably wondering why I didn't go to 60 grit. It's pretty aggressive. If there was big pitting or big rust spots, I probably would have done it, but I think we've done pretty well. All right, so now I'll show you how I like to get an edge on. So, very little material to take off now. Done so much cutting, I'm going to take a cut with a diamond again. So, a lot of people are writing me about various fixtures and jigs to hold the blade at the right angle. I don't know. I think that, well, in the world of guitar making, you have to be able to make judgments about how to cut and what to cut all the time. And it seems to me that oh, we didn't do this one. This one looks like it does need to go on the course wheel. Yeah, we're going to set that aside for now. I'm saying that it's easy to guess what 25 degrees is. And somewhere I have that little, oh, here it is. So if we put this here and turn it on and zero it, okay, and then we kind of guess at 25 and we put this here and we go like, oh, look, it's 26, you know, whatever. I mean, the thing is that you can see this, you can remember it, it's part of woodworking. So we're going to just go for it. Again, we don't have to take hardly any off. And there it is. So, that's a beautiful edge. Nice and straight. And pretty shiny at 1000 grit, right? So, the next thing I'll do with the stone off, of course there's a burr here now, a wire burr, is we're going to set this down. And I think if you get the camera in there, you can see The wire burr is laying right on the stone. You see it? Okay. And then you can see it right here. There's the metal. Okay. You can feel where the burr is residing. Okay, so now we have almost no burr. All right. And now this is ready for the next step in sharpening. And this is the stropping material. Some people are calling this buffing, but it certainly is not buffing. A buffing wheel is a soft, conformal bunch of cloth. Of course, they're all different kinds, but this is not soft, really, although it is soft enough to conform a little bit and give. You can see how it's giving a little bit. And this is going to do this final stropping job for us. Here, let me get this one up to speed too while we're at it. So any little anomalies in our offhand grinding have just been straightened out by this wheel. So we've transferred the straightness of the diamond stone to the 1000 grit wheel, and therefore now to the edge of this rehabilitated Craftsman tool. And we can see on the back side there's a pretty big wire burr. Again, let me lay this down on the stone. You can see it, right? You can see that giant burr. Okay, and then we're gonna cut it that way. The wire burr isn't very strong, so if we disturb it, and oh, there, look at that. See, this is a big piece of it right here. We just bend it a couple times and it falls off. Sometimes you could just pull it off with a cloth like this. Just be careful not to slice your finger. So there it is. So this is ready for stropping.